Hello students. In the last class we started with our first chapter of chemistry, that is chemical reactions and equations, and we did activity number 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3. Today we will proceed with the chapter, and today our topic is chemical equations. What are chemical equations? The shorthand method of representing a chemical reaction in terms of symbols and formulas of the different reactants and products are called chemical equations. We discussed about chemical reactions. What were chemical reactions? Chemical reactions were the processes in which new substances with new properties are formed, and today we are discussing chemical equations. So, the shorthand method of representing a chemical reaction in terms of symbols and formulas of different reactants and products are called chemical equations. In activity 1.1, we discussed activity 1.1, that is burning of magnesium ribbon in air and collection of magnesium oxide in a watch glass. Can be described as activity 1.1 can be described as when a magnesium ribbon is burnt in oxygen, it gets converted to magnesium oxide. We discussed this thing, that when magnesium ribbon was burnt in air, you can say in oxygen, it was converted into magnesium oxide, that is in the form of ash. So this description of a chemical reaction in a sentence form a quite long, so it can be written in a shorter form, and the simplest way to do this is to write it in the form of word equation, and the word equation of the reaction is magnesium plus oxygen. These are known as the reactants, and the substance which is formed is known as product. As you can see, the product form is magnesium oxide. So the substances that undergo chemical change in the reaction 1.1, magnesium and oxygen are the reactants, and the new substance which is formed is magnesium oxide, formed during the reaction as a product. So a word equation shows change of the reactants to the products. Here we can see the reactant is changed into the product through and an arrow placed between them. We can see we have placed an arrow between them. The reactants are written on the left hand side, that is LHS we write with a plus sign between them. Similarly, products are written on the right hand side with a plus sign between them, and the arrowhead points towards the products and shows the direction of the reaction. The arrow which we use, this arrow shows the direction of the reaction. So the reactants are written on the left hand side and products are written on the right hand side. The next comes writing a chemical equation. How we will write a chemical equation? Is there any other shorter way for representing a chemical equation? Chemical equations can be made more concise and useful if we use chemical formulas instead of words. So, while writing a chemical equation, it becomes easier and it is more concise and useful when we write chemical formula instead of the words. A chemical equation represents a chemical reaction. A chemical equation represents the chemical reaction, and if you recall formula of magnesium oxygen and magnesium oxide, the above word equation can be written as Mg plus O2, it will give MgO. Means here we are saying we are writing a chemical equation in the form of symbols instead of writing it in the words. So to make it useful, more useful and concise. So count and compare the number of atoms of the each element on the left hand side and right hand side of the arrow. Is the number of atoms of each element the same on both the sides? If yes, then it is balanced. Means here we can see that magnesium is having one atom on the left hand side and one atom on the right hand side, but oxygen is having two atoms on the left hand side and one atom on the right hand side. So we can say that it is not balanced. So if not, then the equation is unbalanced because the mass is not the same on both the sides of the equation, and such a chemical equation is called a skeleton chemical equation. These types of chemical equations are called skeleton equations, chemical equations for a reaction. And equation 1.2, here you can see equation 1.2 is a skeleton chemical equation for the burning of magnesium in air. Now we will learn about balanced chemical equations. Recall the law of conservation of mass that you studied in class 9th. The law says mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. We have studied this thing that masses can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. That is, the total mass of the element present in the products of a chemical reaction has to be equal to a total mass of the elements present in the reactants. Means the total mass of all the elements which are present on the product side of a chemical reaction has to be equal to the total mass of the elements which are present on the reactant side. So in other words, the number of atoms of each element remains the same. The number of atoms of each element remains the same before and after a chemical reaction. Hence we need to balance a skeleton chemical equation. So that is why we balance a chemical equation, so to so that the law of conservation of mass should be followed. That is, the mass of the elements on the left hand side should be equal to the mass of the elements on the right hand side. So let us learn about balancing a chemical equation step by step. The word equation for activity 1.3. We have discussed activity 1.3, and the word equation for activity 1.3 is zinc plus sulfuric acid will give zinc sulfate plus hydrogen. The above word equation may be represented by the following chemical equation. We can represent this word equation in the form of symbols, as you can see in equation number 1.3. Zinc, the symbol for zinc is Zn, and sulfuric acid is H2SO4, zinc sulfate is ZnSO4 plus hydrogen is H2. So let us examine the number of atoms of different elements on both sides of the arrow. We will take this reaction and we will examine the number of atoms of all the elements on both the sides. You can see a table. In this table, zinc, first of all we are taking zinc. The number of atoms on reactants, that is, in the left hand side zinc is having only one atom, and on the right hand side also zinc is having only one atom. The next comes the hydrogen. You can see left hand side hydrogen is having two atoms, and right hand side also hydrogen is having two atoms. So we can say that zinc and hydrogen are balanced. Now we will take another element, that is sulfur. Left hand side sulfur is having one element. You can see from here sulfur is having one element on the left hand side, and on the right hand side also sulfur is having one element. So sulfur is also balanced. Next we will see oxygen. Oxygen left hand side is having four elements. Here you can see four elements are of oxygen, and on the right hand side also oxygen is having four elements. So we can say that oxygen is also balanced. So as the number of atoms of each element is the same on both sides of the arrow, so we can say that equation number 1.3 is a balanced chemical equation. We will take one more example. Let us try to balance the following chemical equation. The chemical equation which is given to us is Fe, Fe is symbol for iron, plus H2O will give Fe3O4 plus H2. So we will try to balance this equation. First of all, the first step is to balance a chemical equation, first draw boxes around each formula. Before balancing the chemical equation, our first step is we will draw boxes around each the formulas and do not change anything inside the boxes. We cannot change anything inside the boxes while balancing the equation. The next step is, this is the equation we are having. List the number of atoms of different elements present in the unbalanced equation. Means the equation which we are balancing, the first step is we have to make the boxes around the formulas, and the second step is we have to make a table of all the elements of different elements which are present in the unbalanced equation. So you can here see a table. In this table we are having Fe, hydrogen and oxygen, because these three elements are there in our equation. So first of all, Fe we are having one atom of iron on the left hand side and three atoms of iron on the right hand side. So it is mentioned in the table here also. And the next comes hydrogen. We are having two elements of hydrogen on the left hand side and two elements of hydrogen on the right hand side. The third comes the oxygen. We are having one atom of oxygen on the left hand side and four atoms of oxygen on the right hand side. So this will be our second step. We have to make a table of all the elements present in the unbalanced equation. The third step says it is often convenient to start balancing with a compound that contains the maximum number of atoms. So when we will start balancing with the compounds, we will start with that compound that contains maximum number of atoms. So here we will start with it may be a reactant or a product. So in that compound, select the element which has the maximum number of atoms. So using this criteria, we select Fe3O4. We will select the compound that is having maximum number of atoms. So for this here, we have selected Fe3O4 and the element oxygen in it. We have selected element oxygen. There are four oxygen atoms on the right hand side. We can see four oxygen atoms on the right hand side and only one on the left hand side. So to balance the oxygen atoms, what we will do, we will put 1 in H2O. Initially, you can understand here from the table, initially one oxygen was there in the reactant side, that is in H2O. Now we have placed 4 in front of H2O to equalize the number of atoms, and initially there were 4 atoms of oxygen in Fe3O4. So now we can say that the number of oxygen atoms are balanced, because on the right hand side 4 atoms were there of oxygen and in the left hand side we have placed 4 atoms, means we were having H2O. Here you can see only one atom is there, so we have placed a 4 here in front of H2O so that this oxygen atom gets balanced. Students, please remember this thing, that we cannot write 4 here. This is wrong. This was our first step, that we will not alter the formula for the compounds. We are having the formula Fe3O4 on the right hand side and H2O on the left hand side. The first step was we made the boxes around the formulas, so we can't write anything inside the boxes. We have to, if we want to balance the elements, we have to write outside the boxes. So for balancing oxygen, we are having 4 atoms of oxygen on the right hand side and only one oxygen on the left hand side. So what we will do, we will put a 4 outside the box of H2O so that oxygen atoms becomes 4. So hope you understood this thing. This 4 cannot be written. The next comes to equalize the number of atoms. It must be remembered that we cannot alter the formula of the compound. This is very important line. To equalize the number of atoms, I told you, it must be remembered that we cannot alter the formula of the compounds or elements involved in the reactions. For example, to balance oxygen atoms, we can put coefficient 4 as 4H2O and not H2O4. Here it is clearly written, we cannot write it as H2O4 or H2O4 outside like this. Now the partly balanced equation becomes, partly balanced means half balanced, means we are still balancing, the equation is not completely balanced. So I told you we have to write the number of atoms outside the boxes. So we have balanced oxygen, and like this you have to write Fe plus, we have written 4 outside the box to balance oxygen atoms, 4H2O. This will give Fe3O4 plus H2. The next step is Fe and H atoms are still not balanced. We have balanced oxygen atoms, so still Fe and H means hydrogen here, are still unbalanced. So pick up any of these elements to proceed further. Let us balance hydrogen atoms in the partly balanced equation. Now we will balance hydrogen atoms. So to equalize the number of hydrogen atoms, make the number of molecules of hydrogen as 4 on the right hand side. We will make the number of molecules of hydrogen as 4 on the right hand side. As you can see, on the right hand side we are having 2 atoms of hydrogen, and on the left hand side we are having 8 atoms of hydrogen. Yes students, this 4 will be multiplied with this 2 and we are having 8 elements of hydrogen on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we are having 2 elements of hydrogen. As it is written here, initially 8 in 4 H2O in the reactant, and in product side we are having 2 atoms of hydrogen, that is H2. So to make 8 atoms of hydrogen on the right hand side, that is product side, we will multiply it with 4. We will write a 4. Remember students, like this we have to write 4, means outside the box we will not alter the formula of hydrogen molecule as that is H2. So now you can see in this equation number 1.7, hydrogen is balanced. On the left hand side we are having 8 atoms of hydrogen, and on the right hand side also 4 2s are 8. We are having 8 atoms of hydrogen, and oxygen is also balanced. Oxygen we are having on the left hand side 4 atoms of oxygen, and on the right hand side also 4 atoms of oxygen. Now only Fa is left, which is unbalanced. Step 5. Examine the above equation and pick up the third element which is not balanced. You will find that only one element is left which is unbalanced, that is iron. We will take iron. Initially you can see here iron in the equation number 1.7, Fe is having 1 atom on the left hand side and Fe is having 3 atoms on the right hand side. So I told you we will not alter the formula, we will write outside the box. So initially in the reactant side we were having 1 atom, it is written here, and in the product side we were having 3 atoms. So to balance it, 1 into 3 we will write 3, and in the product side we are already having 3. So like this we will write 3 Fe on the 3 outside the box. Now you can see 3 Fe atoms on the left hand side and 3 Fe atoms on the right hand side. So you can see that Fe atoms are now also balanced. So Finally, step 6, what step 6 says? Finally, to check the correctness of the balanced chemical equation, we can count the number of atoms of each element on the both the sides of the equation, and you can count the number of atoms on of each and every element on both the sides. 3 Fe, Fe3 both sides. Hydrogen is 8 both sides and oxygen is 4 for both the sides. So equation number 1.9 can be said to be balanced chemical equation. The number of atoms of elements on both the sides of equation number 1.9 are equal. So this equation is now balanced. This method of balancing a chemical equation is called hit and trial method. This method is called hit and trial method as we make trials to balance the equation by using the smaller whole number coefficient. And the last step is writing symbols of the physical states. We have to write symbols also of the physical state. Carefully examine the above balanced equation number 1.9. Does this equation tell us anything about the physical states of each reactant and product? Equation number 1.9 does not tells us the physical state of the each and every element. So no information has been given in this equation about their physical states. So, to make a chemical equation more informative, the physical states of the reactants and products are mentioned along with the chemical formulas. To make our chemical equation more informative, we write the symbols of physical states of the reactants and products on both the sides. The gaseous, liquid, and aqueous and solid states of reactants and products are represented by the notation. For the gaseous state, we write the notation as G, and for the liquid state, we write the notation as L, and for aqueous state, we write AQ, and for solid state, we write S respectively. So the word aqueous AQ is written if the reactants or products is present as a solution in water. Aqueous means the reactant or product which is present as a solution in water. So the balanced equation 1.9 becomes, so after writing the physical states, equation number 1.9 becomes Fe. Iron is present in solid state, H2O is present in gaseous state, Fe3O4 is present in solid state, and H2 hydrogen gas is present in gaseous state. So this is equation number 1.10. Note that the symbol G is used with H2O to indicate that in this reaction water is used in the form of steam. Usually, physical states are not included in a chemical equation unless it is necessary to specify them. Usually, we don't include physical states of the chemical equations. Sometimes the reaction conditions such as temperature, pressure, and catalyst, etc. for the reaction are indicated above or below the arrows in the equation. For example, CO plus 2H2 at 340 atm will give CH3O4OH. This atm is the unit for pressure, means atmospheric pressure. Means sometimes we write pressure and temperature also. These are the reaction conditions, means at this pressure, at this particularly pressure, or at this particular temperature, this reaction will take place. And we are familiar with the equation number 1.12, that is 6CO2 plus 12H2O. In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, glucose will be formed, that is C6H12O6. This is basically the reaction which takes place in plants during photosynthesis. So using these steps, can you balance equation number 1.2 which is given in the earlier text? So using these equation steps, we have to balance equation number 1.2.